Well, so let's
Anybody but you buying furniture.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Don Garish. I work for Eaton Peabody Consulting Group, and I've been hired by the Board of Selectmen to assist the town in their search for a new town manager. And a little bit about myself, so you'll know what experience I have. I'm a retired Maine manager, had 39 years in the profession, 10 years in Gorham as manager, and I retired out of the town of Brunswick after 20 years. I've been working for Eaton Peabody Consulting Group for the last 12 years. I head up their municipal projects, and I've done over 50 of these searches over the last 12 years. I also do interim work in some communities and had the I was fortunate to be interim manager here for a few months before your current town manager was hired. So I am familiar with Damascotta, and I appreciate the opportunity to come back and help a second time to hire your manager. So that's a little bit about myself. This evening, this is an opportunity for the public, citizens to come forward and be part of the process. And so tonight, what I'm looking for is people to let me know what they see are the issues facing Damascotta in the next 5 years. So we can start to think about what issues people might, or the new manager might be looking at. And also what they're looking for in a new town manager, what characteristics, what education, what experience. I had this afternoon, I met with all 7 or 8 employees. I asked them the same questions and they gave me their answers. Part of this was if you couldn't come tonight, you could send an email to me with this information. I've received 2 emails with people's thoughts about this. At the end of the night, after I'll take notes, I'll put together a document that will just lay out what I've heard. It won't be saying this person said that or this. It will just lay out the ideas of what people are thinking about of the issues Damascotta is facing and what they're looking for in a new town manager. So very informal tonight. Those people that are on Zoom, if you want to speak, and I'll open that up in a little while, you just have to turn your mic on and we'll be able to hear you. Want to talk a little bit about the process that the select board has agreed to. We have been advertising for the position for about 3.5 weeks. Today is the deadline for applications. Received 14 resumes so far. I think I'm going to get one more. I got a call today. So we'll have 15 resumes to review. I will be sending out a packet to the select board either Thursday, or they will get it Thursday or Friday. They will review that, will have all the resumes in it. Part of the process is I will recommend to them who I feel they should consider to interview, but they'll have the opportunity to look at all the resumes and decide who they'd like to interview. We're going to meet next week, select board and myself, go over the resumes and decide who we want to interview. After we do that, the week after that, which would be the week of March 7th through the 10th, we will have interviews for the position. And how many we interview would depend upon our discussion after reviewing the resumes. Once we interview those candidates, most likely what we've done in the past is narrow it down to finalists, probably 2 finalists, but sometimes 3 if there are 3 top candidates. We will then have a second round of interviews, and we've scheduled those for March 28th through the 31st, have a second round, meet with all the candidates, and then the board will decide on who they would like to offer the position to. Once they do that, we'll negotiate a contract with that person. And the goal is to have somebody named as the new town manager the week of April 11th through the 15th. So that's our time frame that we're looking at. Now, once somebody is named and the board has a contract with them, when they start will depend upon the position the person is in or where they're working. Sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes, most likely it's a month, sometimes 45 days before a candidate or someone you've agreed to can come to work. So that's our process. We're trying to stick to it. I think we can. And like I said, we have some good candidates, so I'm pleased with that. And I think we're able to find someone within the pool. So this evening, again, I'm asked the public, very informal, 2 questions. Want to make it clear that I want this to be positive. We need to move forward. We're not here to rehash things in the past. We're here to be positive, move forward, talk about what the issues might be and what you're looking for in a manager. So that's briefly why we're here, and we'll open it up to anybody who wants to start the process. And I see 1 citizen here, maybe, or 2, sorry, 2 citizens. So there's a mic back there that we need to use, or on the table over here, sorry. So everyone can hear that we're being taped. And so whoever wants to pick it up and start, go right ahead. Don't be bashful. Someone's got to start this process. So either one of the 2 citizens that are here want to, and if you could have your name, please, that would just be helpful.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. My name's Stephen Huffnagel. I'm live on Church Street and been involved in a lot of different town processes. I'm also the executive director of Coastal Rivers Conservation Trust. We're a regional land trust based here in Damascotta. Our headquarters are just up the road at Round Top Farm. And one of the great things that with the town has been our partnership around open space and water quality. And one of the great assets I've noticed has been, we thread this careful needle. We want Damascotta to be affordable. We need to figure out affordable housing. How do we manage growth in a way that keeps the price of growth down by concentrating it in the ways that are on sewer and water, and ways to really keep so thoughtfulness around how we grow in a way that makes growth and its accompanying revenue as least expensive as possible. That's a consideration, that kind of careful consideration that growth alone is not good. Sometimes growth can cost more than it brings in, but good growth helps a lot. And so how we do that. The second thing is how to bring in other resources that are non-tax resources, grants, federal grants, state grants. We've watched a wonderful town manager doing that and bringing new resources. It's an innovative thing, and that's helped tremendously to accomplish some really important goals, and building relationships even with private citizens to bring in resources like for the bathrooms downtown or the parks, or how do you work with volunteers? So that kind of outwardly looking to the community, both for their wisdom and for the resources that they can bring, expertise, et cetera. So someone with that kind of outward look, they're not stationed here in their office and looking narrowly. It's a pie that can grow. It's an outward look that can bring a lot of resources to the town and thread that needle of keeping it a place that people can stay, that my kids won't be priced out. And so those are some key considerations.
Thank you. Anybody at home or? No. Go ahead, sir.
Street in Damascotta. I am the co-chair of a citizens collaborative, not appointed by the town, kind of a grassroots group that's been working with the select board and with the town manager for the past 2.5 to 3 years. Our focus is really on two things. The name of it is Public Safety and Accessibility Collaborative. And it really is a focus on safety in the community and accessibility to the community. I would echo a lot of what Stephen has said without duplicating it. The thoughts that I have, and I have a hard time separating the two questions.
All
I think the first would be to say that it's a person who really can relate to the diversity of populations in the town. As a senior, I'm very much concerned about the senior population, which is pretty significant, but we also have populations at all other ages. And I think that the diversity of the community is precious. And I like to see it served in that way. I think it has been in the past, certainly. So continuation and help it to grow. It's a community that I think we've worked pretty diligently at trying to support issues around safety and accessibility. And therefore, I would ask that the person coming in can identify with those and help to support us. I think it's no small matter that the present town manager, Matt Lutkus, has been part of our collaborative and he's helped us enormously to move certain projects forward that most of the people here in the room are very familiar with. But we very much support that. So we'd like to see that keep going. We'd like to see the person, I'd be very specific, like to see the person be part of this collaborative with us as the current town manager is. Because we think the value that we bring to the community, hopefully, is worthy of that. And in that vein, one of the things that it fits in our scope is the relationship between the community and Maine DOT. And at present, I think, at least from the lens I look through, it's a very good relationship. And I think the person coming in should, I would hope, be able to maintain that and keep going forward. There are a lot of things in the pipeline that are reliant upon the DOT in this state and this town. And we'd like to keep that going, obviously. I think that the other aspects of the work would be, help to manage the budget in ways that really support the work that we're doing as well, without being selfish or overly optimistic with that, and care for our community, be the shepherd as much as that's possible. That's what I'd like to see.
Good suggestions.
Thank you.
Again, anybody at home like to participate?
Yeah, I don't know, am I live on?
Yes, you are.
All right, my name is Mike Hers. I am the chairman of the Damascotta Newcastle Harbor Committee and also the deputy harbor master. And I sort of want to serve as the voice of the water and make sure that the next town manager is as sensitive to the issues of the harbor and the river as Matt Lutkus has been. It's a very important resource that we share with Newcastle, and the management of it is extremely important, as is evident by the project that we are just working on now through, once again, Matt, good work, the rehab program for the harbor, which will make access to the town landing, which is another important asset of the town. So I just want to stress the importance of the harbor and the river to the thinking and planning of the town and the town manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Good suggestions. Appreciate it. Anybody else out there in the Zoom world? Not
This is
hearing anybody
Patty
else?
Witten, Chairman of the Cemetery Trustees for Damascotta. I would echo what I'm hearing from the other folks who have spoken in terms of the tremendous support that we have had from Matt and that we hope would continue with a new town manager. For instance, he has attended every one of our trustees meetings and been an invaluable participant in that and a huge support. He is behind us at every turn. We are occasionally dealing with some very stressful situations in people's lives, and Matt has always been there providing whatever we needed to be able to carry out our mission. We very much hope that another town manager would have the sensitivity that Matt has had to the citizens, to the people that we work with, and also the awareness of, if you will, our physical plant in terms of maintaining good health of the properties, as well as the interactions that we have with individual people. If we could clone Matt and have him be the next town manager, I think all of the trustees would be in favor of that because of the tremendous support that he has given us from every direction, and hope that we see that again. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Good suggestions. Appreciate it. Anybody else out there?
This is Derek Weber. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Derek.
Oh, thank you. I'd first of all just like to say my very great thanks to Matt Lutkus. He's certainly going to be a very hard act to follow. But I just want to make sure that when we choose his successor, that the successor has as much interest in the road safety and sidewalks and those kind of developments as Matt has shown. I also think it's important that the new town manager, like Matt, has good links to the county and to the state. That's always been an important part of getting things done around here, and Matt has been exemplary in doing that. Just in general, his responsiveness and his sensitivity and his financial creativity in finding money, finding sources of money and from various places and cobbling it together to make progress possible is what I recall and what I've observed and what I'd like to see continued if possible. So thanks again to Matt, and that's my 5 cents worth.
Thank you, Derek. Appreciate it. Somebody else out there want to speak? Anybody else from our citizens here? We have all the select board here, but they'll certainly have their opportunity to jump in here. But this is the citizens' opportunity tonight. So yes, go ahead.
Just had two more thoughts that just hearing from some of the others also brought back. One is the question of our natural resources as well, really thinking about the special natural resources that we have here. Mike mentioned the river. We have some beautiful land base. We have a history of hunting and fishing and snowmobiling. And these are things we want to protect and make connections and trails for hiking as well as the traditional activities, and making sure that that continues. The river as a resource, we have an incredible aquaculture industry. It's a source of good paying jobs, and hoping maybe, again, thinking of my kids, there's some opportunities there in the future. Depends all on clean water. So can we keep our water clean and develop also in a way, A, that we don't get priced out, and B, that protects our natural resources so that the heart of our industries that are so important to us remain. And then finally, really working with other towns where there are opportunities for saving resources. So a cool thing that was mentioned, Mike mentioned the Harbor Committee. There's a joint relationship with Newcastle. Newcastle is managing the harbor side, and we're doing the, Damerscott is doing the clam side of things, and has swapped over the years. But it's a way to concentrate some services that each town can help the other. Everyone saves, and it's creative. Can we buy things together? Where can we collaborate that it makes sense? Obviously, we don't collaborate to collaborate, but where it makes sense, that's a great thing to do if savings can result too.
Thank you. Good suggestions. Anybody else?
I will, if you'll have me.
Sure.
This is Haas Toby. At this point, you may think I'm the town crazy because a week and a half ago, I gave the selectmen a book entitled Moving to Higher Ground and asked them to read it. And in the last week's issue of the Lincoln County News, I offered a reward for stopping the Thwaites Glacier in Newland in Antarctica from melting. I'm not crazy, guys. I know the science, and I've been watching this stuff now for 30 years. And my concern is it's going to let loose a lot faster than anyone's telling us or anyone's allowed to tell us. The biggest breakthrough we had recently was national news saying 1 foot by 2050. Sorry, I still live in the last century, some of you may believe, but anyway. My point is this: we should be looking at the town. Should be looking at the fact that sea level rise is going to come at us much faster than anyone's been predicting. And in my letter to the editor, I bet on a foot in a decade. Well, I bet on that because I'll be surprised if it's not 3 feet by then. Now, you guys, all I'm saying is, let's start thinking this way. I don't know how to think this way. That's why I gave the selectmen the book, Moving to Higher Ground. It's the best chance I know of that we have to think about this problem and how we stop thinking about our land and around us just going on virtually forever. It's changing rapidly from other climate causes as well as sea rise. We've seen the weather and what the weather's been doing. So guys, I'm not crazy. And I'm saying I don't know how to do this, but I'm hoping that we can do it as a town in a way that makes sense to us. And that's why I'm urging the selectmen to begin this inquiry, and also urging you guys to charge your planning, I'm sorry, I can't even, look, my mind's going. I can't even remember the name of the committee. The, what, Daryl, are you laughing over there? What's the name of the committee I asked you guys to charge with a sea level rise score? Comprehensive plan. I'm sorry. See, you couldn't think of it either. Okay, I feel better. So all I'm saying is this. We need to start learning how we think about this issue and work on it as a community. And it's scary, I know that. I've said more than enough, probably.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Anyone else out there? Don't want to cut anybody off, but if no one else has anything to say, oh,
Good, possible.
oh, all right. If there's no one else who wants to speak or the citizens here, we can end this. If anybody, I will put this together by the end of the week. So if anybody out there wants to send me an email with their thoughts, I'd appreciate it. It was on the information about this meeting, and my email address is on there. But there'll be a document just kind of summarizing everything we've heard. It's a public document. Citizens can look at it, but as important, candidates will look at it, and they will then start to see what there's a community feeling about. So if there's nothing else, I want to thank everybody for participating and looking forward. Yes.
Just a question, will there be an opportunity to talk to the final candidates?
Mike, would you, I'm sorry, would you grab the mic, please?
Yes, will there be an opportunity to talk with the final candidates in a setting like this, in a community setting?
Right now, that has not been planned, but it's something we can talk to the select board about and see if they would like to do that. We've done it in other places, but that hasn't been finally decided at this point in time.
Thank you.
So again, thanks, everybody. We appreciate it, and looking forward to working with the select board and the community to hire yourselves a great new manager. So thank you, and thank you all for participating.